What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got another unboxing video for you today. It's not a new fragrance for me, but I really like this fragrance, so we're gonna unbox my second bottle on camera. I've already gone through this bottle. It's basically empty. Didn't wear all this, I decanted it out. But I do really like this fragrance. I have the X Straight as well. So let's get into the presentation, the box, all that good stuff. Got a brand new one here. It's still sealed. I opened that. I was eating and I kind of just got in the zone. I was eating some steak. I was sitting there. I took this out of the package. It came in the mail and I just started opening. I was like, wait a minute. No, I got to open this shit on camera. Got to open this shit with you guys. Still sealed. Didn't fully break the seal on it. Break the seal on camera. Get into talking about the box, the notes a little bit, the presentation. Let's get into it. We'll start off, I'll read the notes for you guys. Fig, black tea, iris, bourbon vetiver, sandalwood, and tonka bean. Now, with a note breakdown like that, you would expect this to be like a very sweet, spicy, woody, like going out. It almost sounds like a Parfums de Marly fragrance by the note breakdown. Besides the tea, I don't really picture Parfums de Marly using a black tea. However, this stuff is not like what I expected because this was a blind buy. My first bottle was a blind buy. I didn't really know what to expect. I was just going off the hype and it did not disappoint, I'll be honest. These boxes are really nice. They're not the little thin, I think the new Parfums de Marly boxes are good examples of cheap niche boxes. They went from the very nice presentations of their Royal Essence line, and they've really cheapened up the presentation box-wise on their fragrance. These aren't elaborate and over the top, but it's a nice thick box and it slides out. I like the way these slide out, and the bottle is held nice and secure in there. I think some of the ones where you pull the top off, a lot of the times the bottle is not secure in there. And there's times when I've almost dropped a brand new bottle because I go to pull the top off, like the Initios or Creed Aventus, the Absolute, how you pull the top off and it's kind of sitting down in the thing. If it's not secured in there, that bottle's gonna flop out. It's almost happened a couple times, but really like how they sit in there, nice and secure. Like, look at that. It's not gonna fall out. You actually have to pull this shit out. I like this. So boxes, thumbs up for me for BDK overall. Has nothing to do with this individual fragrance. I'm pretty sure most of the boxes from BDK are the same. So that just goes across the whole brand. They just have good boxes. As well as presentations. It's nothing over the top. Pretty simple stickers, to be honest, but very effective. Clear bottles, which I like. I really don't like having to shine a flashlight through a bottle to see how much juice is in there. Certain bottles, you gotta do what you gotta do, but my preference, personally, I just like a clear bottle. You can see the color of the juice that way. I really like seeing the color of the juice of the fragrance. Really unique juice color on these. It's almost like a gray color. These caps, they click on really well, nice weight to them. These are the only caps I've came across so far that kind of compare to Parfums de Marly in terms of how heavy these things are, and just like it really snaps on there. Honestly, these might be better than PDM caps. I like how you also got the little emblem, BDK, etched in the top. Presentation on these are on point. The stickers are laminated really nice. Is there something we can compare it to? These bottles are almost comparable to Mancera's presentation, but stepped up a little bit. I think the square bottles are nicer. I do like the magnetic caps that Mancera has. However, there's not as much weight to them. Like, this thing really has some weight to it. But enough talking about the bottle and the presentation. Let's get into the fragrance. These also have really good atomizers, pressure sensitive, micro atomizers. They're great. Let's spray this, talk about the fragrance a little bit. I get it in the air almost immediately. The opening on this is really bright, airy, in like a clean, sweet way though. It's an interesting blend on this. You have the tea and the vanilla, and you would think that it wouldn't necessarily go together because when you think of vanilla fragrances, you think of generally sweet stuff. When I think of very vanilla forward fragrances, I think of stuff like PDM Altier or Initio Absolute Aphrodisiac, something like that. And this is not even in the same ballpark at all. Even though it has that vanilla in there, it's not overwhelmingly vanilla. There's more woods and tea in this than I would consider vanilla at all. But you definitely do pick up on the vanilla sweetness, and I think it helps the longevity, the vanilla being in there, because the performance on this is not a slouch at all. It's not a beast mode fragrance. It's very light, airy. It's not a thick, dense fragrance. Not something I'm gonna wear in high heat or necessarily wanna smell in very high heat or at the gym or something like that. But I think this could be a signature fragrance. I would wear this, but there's so many other fragrances that I would reach for on a date night. And like I said, it is unisex. I think I would rather smell this on my date. I would rather smell this on a girl, to be honest, because it is a unisex fragrance. I think I would personally rather wear the X Straight. I have both of them. I think the EDP and the X Straight complement each other very well for a his and her date night fragrance. There's some fragrances that just don't mesh. Like if you wear something as a dude and your date wears something and your sillage doesn't mix, people around you might not enjoy it. It might come off weird. If you're smelling your fragrance mixed with your date's fragrance, the sillage, it might not mix. However, because of the way the DNAs are on the X Straight and the EDP, they're not super similar. It's not like the oil concentrations just increased. They're definitely different fragrances, but together, I think that those would be one of the best his and her date night fragrances on the market, to be honest. As long as you're a fan of both those fragrances, and of course your date likes both those fragrances, it's totally subjective. Those are my taste for maybe a fall or winter night, date night fragrance, going out to dinner, going to an event, something like that. I think that the EDP and the X Straight would work great, especially together. It's dried down a little bit. Wanted to give it a little bit to dry down because like I said, when I sprayed it, I immediately got it in the air. These micro atomizers do a really good job of dispersing the opening of these fragrances, especially when you have heavy notes like the bourbon vetiver, the woods that are in there, the sandalwood, the tonka bean. If these had shitty atomizers, I honestly don't think the fragrance would not only perform the same, but I don't think the opening would be the same. It's like a creamy tea. It's interesting. The spices don't add a predominant spice to me. It's almost like a creamy spice. The spices blend with the tea note and almost create a creaminess. I had the girl that I'm seeing smell this along with like 4 or 5 other fragrances, and she singled out Gris Charnel, and she's not really into perfume, to be honest. She said that it smelled like chocolate to her, and I account that to the creaminess that's always stood out to me, the creaminess that comes from the spices, the way that they're blended in there. It's a very interesting blend. Nothing really stands out and is super predominant. Like in Leighton, when you spray Leighton on, you really get that fruity apple opening. With this, even from the opening, I mean, you get the tea, but it's not overwhelming tea. Like Oolong Cha is straight tea and some woods and citrus behind it. The predominant note is tea. But in Gris Charnel, it's very balanced. There's no note that really overpowers one another. Like I was talking about the vanilla, like there's not a lot of vanilla and there's not a lot of spices. It's just a very well blended, nice, clean, but still spicy oriental fragrance. It's very interesting. And that's what's great about it, is because the DNA is very unique. So when you pick it up and you smell it, you know you're smelling Gris Charnel. Unless I'm sure there's clones out there, but I really don't think the clones are going to be able to replicate the quality of raw materials. It's a very natural smelling fragrance. It doesn't smell like an assimilation of a bunch of aroma chemicals to try to imitate the smell of something natural. It smells like very high quality natural ingredients. I'm sure there's some aroma chemicals in there. It's not 100% naturals, obviously, but the quality is there, guys. If you're a fan of tea fragrances, spicy oriental fragrances, I'm sure a lot of you guys have already smelled Gris Charnel, but if you haven't, get yourself a decant, get your nose on it, check it out. Check out the Extrait as well. Who knows, you might end up finding your new favorite his and her date night fragrance. Or if you like one of them enough to make your own signature fragrance, or for date nights, anything like that, it's a great fragrance. I think that it got hyped for a while and then kind of swept under the rug, to be honest. Not a lot of people talk about it anymore. I think the Extrait kind of put a shadow over the EDP, but the EDP is still a great fragrance, but I would just prefer to smell it on a girl instead of me personally wearing it. However, I do enjoy wearing it. Like right now, I totally enjoy smelling it off of my arm, but doing a full wearing, I just don't think I would want to smell strictly Gris Charnel on myself for 6, 7, 8 hours. It is a different enough fragrance to where they're not redundant and they serve very different purposes. I will say that. Performance is there. I think as long as you're using lotion, unscented lotion on your skin before you spray this stuff, if you don't have crazy dry skin, you're gonna get a solid 7, 8, maybe more. I think performance is subjective depending on your skin chemistry, depending on if you're moisturizing. Personally, I put on unscented body butter before I spray on any fragrances, and I've noticed that helps with performance tremendously because you have something there to hold the oils to your skin. It's not just absorbing into your skin immediately. Hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing video and me ranting about Gris Charnel. Great unisex fragrance. If you're a guy and you enjoy wearing it, no shame on you. Like I said, fully unisex, smells great. Just personally, I prefer the Extrait and I would want to have my date wear the EDP. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay smelling good and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.